Hey, Dustin. Give me a minute. I'm trying to get the phone set to where I can talk to y'all. Let's see if I can put it up here. Okay, that's a little better. I'm gonna wait for some folks to come in and see if that works. Oh yeah, I'm at the what? It's a Super 8. I'm check out today and get back to the truck because hopefully they'll have a load for me sometime between now and Saturday. I think mine was 60 something, 68. Came out to like 155 for 2 nights, and it includes breakfast. Hey Judy, what's up? Good morning. Yeah, I'm gonna do this live, and then I gotta start packing up the room because I'm checking out today. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come in, and then I'll get into it. I'm gonna Hey Brown Sugar, I'm mailing your package today. I was looking for a package for it. Hey Micheline, and I found I got a shipment from Amazon, so I'm gonna reuse that package. But I got the bubble wrap for it, and I'll wrap it all up. So it's in the room today, and I'm gonna wrap it all up before I leave. I slept good though. Yeah. So Brown, can y'all hear me okay too? Making sure y'all can hear me because I'm just talking like y'all can hear me. So I hope y'all can hear me. Can everybody hear me? I'm good, Micheline. Is your son a truck driver, Judy? Okay, good. CNN. Yeah, I'm in Lubbock. They haven't given me a load out yet, so we'll see how that goes. Like I said, there's some issues. The owner was kind of he almost got his truck back. I'm trying to hang with them for a minute, um, but we're gonna see. I mean, like I said, they pay good. The equipment's good. My issue is the micromanagement. Um, it's it's country, so and there's the way he's talking to folks is kind of special. So I'm like, like bro, and then the game, I don't like games. When I don't like you lying to me, and I don't like games. And he lied about sent me a load. As a person in general, seems to be an okay person, but when it comes down to business, he's gonna work it to wherever to get his money. Um, but he sent me a load, and then he gave me a load that I was supposed to get out at 10 a.m. Then all of a sudden calls me at 6 o'clock at night, and puts a load on me, and talking about it was going to be an extra stop. That was a lie. It wasn't an extra stop. He was giving me a whole nother load on top of the load I already had, and I had not had any sleep, which I had told him. We made the agreement because originally I didn't want to leave till Sunday, and he says, "Well, you can meet me halfway Saturday." So I'm like, "No problem." But then all of a sudden, everything's late on that load. So it set me back by a couple of days because there was no way, based on what he did, I was going to get to where I was going to get on time. It's just insanity. It was just total insanity. But anyway, it's okay. Bay and Bay was rated, if I remember correctly, I saw them and they were rated back in the day, a couple of years back. They're rated as one of the top fleets to work for. I have seen their trucks. Um, and I was curious about them, but I did hear that they were rated as one of the best companies to work for. Yeah, I'm leaning back more. I need to find a good, excuse me, lease purchase company. One of the homegirls that watches the channel, y'all snore on here, is Larry Smith, but on my other page, I know her by her real name on my Facebook. But she just got on with a company out of Mississippi. I won't mention the name of the company. So I'm kind of waiting to see, and they have lease purchase as well. Only issue with them is I know they're a training company. And a lot of times to make your money, you have to train. And they play the training game, which I really, really hate. Um, is something I really hate. So I'll have to, I'm going to have to really pray on it. But, this the freedom part that's my problem. Um, it's that freedom part that I want. When you're working for owner or companies, oftentimes they're treating you like, and that's, this is the biggest downfall, I hate to say it, in trucking. They're treating you like you're pretty much their servant or slave, and they don't have any respect for you. They don't see you as human. That's probably my biggest issue, is they don't see you as a human being. And so, you're just a means to an end. And, some of the things people are doing out here to chase the money, like that kid out in, where was he at? The kid out in Colorado. I would not be shocked at all to find out that his company was rushing him to get somewhere, and he was in a higher gear. We already know he wasn't in the right gear going down the mountain. He's in a higher gear, lost his brakes because he probably was using the brakes so much to try to slow the truck down. And, that's, it just caused a bad day. When you do that, that's like I told this guy, I'm not going to try to kill anybody behind your bull crap. I told you I hadn't slept. In addition, you're not going to harass me behind it either. Because when you do that, ultimately, when you're rushing people behind, oh, excuse me, when you're rushing people behind stuff, it creates pressure, and that pressure, it can cause accidents. You don't harass people, calling them. No, 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 no. I worked for one company. It was small. They would call folks during the sleeper birth. No, 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 no. You don't. It's just some stuff you don't do. So, like I said, I'm praying. This was only temporary anyway, because I don't plan on living in Lubbock. I have zero desire to live in Lubbock. And it was really more to try to help, a little bit to help out Grumpy. But Grumpy is on his own journey, and we'll talk about that here in a minute, because he's digging a deeper hole. Y'all got more foolishness that he's doing now. But I'm going to get into some of the history, because there was a comment left. Not that I have to reply to the comment, but I want to deal with it. Hey, Brown. Hey, Chicago BBW. All right, let me get into the topic. Yeah, you're not, as long as you can climb your ass in and out that seat, you're cognizant, you can see the road, and you can drive and back that truck, then there's people 80, 90 years old doing this. One of my boys said the oldest truck driver he saw still driving was, like, I think in his 90s. So if you can physically get in and out the truck, you can physically control the truck, you can physically learn to drive the truck, and you can pass a CDL and DOT physical, they don't care. Most trucking companies want older people, so just to let you know. There are people 60 plus driving trucks. Bill's 62. So, and when I was in trucking school, there was a guy, he was in his 60 something coming into trucking. He needed to make money, kind of like Grumpy right now and his foolishness. But I'm going to get into this. So, I had a comment. Normally, some things I don't really concern myself with. I'm going to try to put that down. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to position this. Y'all are sitting on the pillow. Hold on. Hold on. Trying to position y'all. Hold up. Let me see if I can position y'all to where this will work. Okay, y'all hearing some crumples. I'm working on it. Better, so I don't have to hold it. All right. So, because I'm in the room and I have a little, what do you call it? Like a little tripod thing, but I left it in the truck. So, here's the deal. Try to get into this subject. So I had a comment on here, and I want to deal with it because even though some of you have semi-followed the channel and know some of the history of Grumpy, I really haven't linearly put it there so people can understand. So I had somebody, and I want to address the comment. I'm not going to give the name of the person because I actually ended up blocking them because they kind of pissed me off. And I know this is just social media, but it was a comment that they made, and I thought the comment was kind of ignorant, but at the same time, I thought the comment has its own level of wisdom because of the level of ignorance, okay? And I could tell it was from somebody who's most likely male, and probably a black male, at least by the little symbol that they have for their icon. I'm going to go ahead and deal with it because I believe that there are people on there on two different levels. You have people who are like my biological father, who have no responsibility for their actions. They get out here, they don't put a condom on their penis, they pop out babies, they don't take care of the babies, they don't even want the babies. They avoid and shirk their responsibilities financially and physically, meaning that you need to be present in a child's life. That is what the God given thing of being a biological mother and a biological father are. However, I do know people who grew up with parents, both parents in the household, and they really had no father or mother. Meaning you can grow up in a household and not have someone who knows how to be a mother or knows how to be a father. So in the case of my biological father, he never wanted children. He don't like children, and but he didn't do the things necessary because he, wants to just screw women, and I guess he wants whatever that feeling that folks supposed to be having when they doing what they doing. That was what he wanted, so he didn't do anything to stop from having children, like put a condom on or go get himself fix a vasectomy to where he couldn't, produce kids. With that being said, he was the type of guy who didn't really care. And in the sense of shirking responsibilities financially, he did the same thing as he did physically. I was watching just quickly a video, and I didn't watch it all the way through because I was a little disgusted by it. It's another YouTube driver that I watched, and they interviewed somebody, and I guess he's a driver, and how he was getting out of paying high amounts of child support for his children. And I just couldn't believe, because it was a female interviewing him. I was like, is this really happening? There's no way in hell I would have even, at least, and God bless, that's the way that's what they're doing. And I was just like really blown away. If you're a parent and you have a child, it is your responsibility to raise your child. It's your responsibility to make sure financially that child has what they need, okay? With that being said, my biological father, he stopped paying child support for me at age 9. My sister's mother, from what I understood, he was giving her money, but he wasn't giving much. Anybody who's going to give you $15 to make them some food ain't giving much for no child, okay? Her mother finally, because he was not helping on the financial level she needed for 3 children that she had by him, had to take him to court. My understanding is she had rights to take virtually almost his entire check, okay? She had a kind heart, and she did not do that, but he had to pay child support on them for a period of life, and she even could have went back for back child support. She did not do that. And he's very blessed she didn't, because he was, at that time, he was going through his whole prostate cancer experience. The other woman, I don't know much about her, the one who has the Down syndrome, or excuse me, the autistic child. I know that she got child support from him, and even they continued the child support until the child graduated high school. And because he was autistic, it took him quite a bit longer to get through the what's the word I want to use? It took him quite a bit longer to get through school. So Monty's grumpy, had to pay child support on him longer. He has told my sister that the child, he don't know if it's really his or not, because he supposedly did not make the court date. And so I guess he's saying a blood or DNA test was never done. I don't know all about that part of it, but since he lies so much, I don't know that I believe him. I think that child probably is his. I don't. He lies a lot. I've come to find out he is a massively compulsive liar. I didn't grow up with him, so I didn't know, but the guy lies like nobody's business. And if he says something, you better check it or always question it, because it may not, or most likely may not be true. So you have to question any and everything he says, okay? With that being said, the comment that the person made was that I guess I'm ungrateful because I use Grumpy's car, okay? And if, he's let me use his car, so I'm ungrateful. I'm ungrateful. I'm going to laugh because I'm getting ready to tell y'all this story. I don't see it in that manner, and I'm going to explain to you why. And I guess he doesn't owe me in a sense, but he does owe in a sense, okay? So it's kind of you don't owe, but you do owe, okay? Grumpy had his supposed Christian awakening at age 45. And the reason I know it's 45 because I was 25 when he reached out to me, and there's a 20, he's 20 years older than I am. So I'm 50, he's 70, so that's 20-year difference. I was age 25 when he reached out to me, and he was age 45. Monty apparently reached out, Grumpy reached out to my biological mother. He reached out to Christine's mother. I'm understanding he did the same thing with the kid, with all the kids, and he basically said, I'm sorry for not being a man. I'm sorry for not, being a father. I apologize for anything I did wrong. Yada 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 yada. Okay. At this point, Grumpy turned around, and when I talked to him, when he reached out to me, I told him, I said, look, you can't come up in my life being nobody's daddy. You didn't father me as a child. You weren't a father to me. The only thing you are is my biological father. So what we can do, will you forgive me? Yeah, I'm not gonna hold a grudge. But what we will do is we can we can be friends. But as far as you coming up in here trying to be somebody's daddy, that's not gonna happen. Okay. I didn't need to really worry about it because Monty has no clue on how to be a father or a daddy or a grandfather. He sucks on all levels. So at this point, I just, we pretty much created a friendship. He would come down he started coming down to Arizona more frequently. And what had happened, so you have to understand some of the dynamics, his father and stepmother were here in Texas, in Lubbock, or in Plainview. His stepmother died first. Then his father came down with the prostate cancer and died second. So the only living parent he had left was his mama in Arizona, who honestly, he did not come down and visit that much up until his daddy and his stepmother croaked out. I'm sorry, I mean. So at that point, I think part of the epiphany was he didn't have any other living parent other than her, and she was in Arizona. So I think he then, between his quote-unquote Christian awakening, he then had to realize, hey, this is all I got. So he then started coming down to Arizona more frequently. When he would come down, he'd stay with me for a few days, he'd stay with my grandmother, and he'd stay with some cousins and my aunt and uncle, the one I told you he acted a fool with when he got sick. We all drove him, with the exception of my grandmother, she didn't drive. But if he needed to go anywhere, we all drove him around. We drove him to eat. We drove him to go shopping. We all drove him. Not ever really, I don't know that any of us really asked that question of why didn't he just say, can we use your car? And I'm going to go X, Y, Z. He didn't. And exactly what he does today, that's sleeping and eating, and that was it. We get up in the morning when he would come. Anybody stay with me. You had a clean room, clean bathroom. There was extra food in the house. I kept coffee, orange juice, all the stuff that I would think that a guest would want. I don't care who you are, whether it's him or my homegirl Shanae, who's a flight attendant. Anybody come stay with me, you always had something. There was always food. Anybody knew that. Always something to drink. There was always a room for you to stay in. That's just how I rolled. We drove when I say we, I mean any family member that he stayed with, we drove him everywhere he wanted to go. From age 25 up until age 29 when I got sick, okay? When the whole sick thing happened and I found out he was a massive a-hole, and I don't like to drive, I'll pay for you a cab, and wouldn't drive me to the doctor after I got released from the hospital the first stint, because I had to do two more stints after the first hospital visit where I almost checked out. I had to do two more stints into the hospital, one to have the surgery to get the tumor removed, and two, after the tumor was removed, I had a complication and put me back in the hospital again, okay? And so I had, like I said, it was 6 months altogether of me in and out of a hospital. When all that happened, I didn't talk to Grumpy because I went off. When he wouldn't drive me, I held my peace because I was dealing with just trying to get well. But after I got to where I was on my feet, I called him and let loose about the little, I'm not going to drive you, okay? There was no apology. There was no I'm sorry. There was no, I didn't real. There was nothing. He's an asshole. And then because all he says, well, I don't care that you don't like. You grew up in Arizona. It's some BS. He can drive anything. He grew up on a farm. You can drive anything. We have sat here, me, my cousins, my uncles. We've driven you any and everywhere you wanted to go. And if an emergency happens or a health concern happens, you mean to tell us in our car with our gas, with our insurance, you can't sit your ass in the driver's seat and drive us to a doctor's office, a hospital? That is just some really weird, bizarre, self-centered BS. Shortly thereafter, Monty left Arizona, and he never stayed with me after that. After that incident, he never stayed with me again. But he left, and he would come back still up until my grandmother died. He came back and forth to Arizona. Even after she died, he came back. He would stay with my uncle or my cousins. He would never stay with me after that because we basically, it was done. We spoke, but we were distant for a minute. And I don't know if it was a year, 2 years later, all of a sudden, good morning, Cat Eyes. All of a sudden, he was in the hospital in Texas doing the prostate cancer. And the irony of, and I'm not wishing bad things on anybody. I don't wish bad things on people. But there's irony. There is a principle. Some people call it juju. Some people call it kismet. Some people call, there's a bunch of names for it. The Bible calls it what you sow, you reap. Okay? Hey, JJ. So he, good morning, America. You're funny. It's gonna come back. So when you sow bad things, they will come back. It's karma. Some people call it karma. What you do, you reap. So he ended up now with prostate cancer. He ended up, his car was a piece of crap because they don't take care of nothing. The other car he had. He ended up with prostate cancer, and because his other car was a piece of crap, he ended up having to basically have people that he knew give him rides back and forth to his treatments and to some doctor's appointments and to even go to his credit union. Isn't it irony when you have to ask somebody for a ride and they have to drive you somewhere, and when somebody asked you for your help during their sickness, you couldn't do that, and they were blood. So I found a lot of irony in what he went through, not in the funny sense, but in the, when God says what you sow, you reap, he means that crap. I'm just watching. So like I said, sometimes I could probably write books like the lessons I'm learning watching my earthly father from my heavenly father. So the eyes that God has given me on his principles, just watching the things about my biological father. With that being said, I'm sitting here, and even now, I'm watching stuff with this dumbass person. And I don't think he's dumb. He is really, he's so self-centered. He's cutting his nose off to spite his face because he's just straight up, I'm going to do things my way. The person made this comment and they said, ungrateful. I don't have anything to be grateful to my father for. And whether you like that or lump it, that's just the reality of it. In my humble opinion, I drove your ass around for 4 years in my car, on my gas. Why can't I use his car? I never asked you for gas money. I never asked you for anything on my car. I even offered for you to drive it to get me somewhere when I needed help, and you wouldn't do that. So to the person who says I'm ungrateful, I don't have anything to be grateful for. So you can't be ungrateful if you have nothing to be grateful for. He was not present in my life as a child. He shirked his responsibilities. He stopped paying child support to my biological mother at age 9, and he only paid her $50 a month up until that age. And I don't know about you, I was born in 1968. Please help me understand what $50 a month does for any child. $50 a month won't do anything for any body, nobody. This man is at a hardware store on this little video, and his son is taking a piss or in an appliance store, and the son is taking a piss in a toilet that's a display model. It's actually kind of hilarious. Um, I just looked up at the TV and saw it. But you, when people say that, and I wanted to address it because the problem is, I've talked to people even in ministry when I did ministry, and I talked to people even. I have a young lady here, and her mother was into drugs. Okay, hey Sylvia, good morning. Her mother was a major drug user. The stepfather was a drug dealer and user, so she grew up in a crackhead home. She loves the hell out of her mama, but I see the detriment of what took place and who she's a very, on a business side, very savvy, intelligent young lady. On a personal side, life is a hot ass mess when it comes down to the personal choices of the gentleman that she got involved with. I'm using the word gentleman lightly, the males. I believe sometimes we feel as if we may feel guilty about having to draw lines in the sand when it comes to people because, oh, you're my biological parent, but you did excuse my French, a shitty job at raising me, or you didn't raise me. Um, and I believe that people, and so this is kind of serious, y'all. I believe that people sometimes feel so obligated to try to, that's my mom, so yeah, my mom was messed up, and that's my mom, and this is how I grew up, so I got to do. There is a way, the Bible tells you to honor your parents, and I'm trying to be as honorable as I can in this situation. But there's a reality of fact, okay? And the fact is, my father didn't do anything for any of his kids. And the only child that he has somewhat done something for has spent his entire life in prison. He still sends him some money. My understanding, I believe he sends anywhere from $100 to $400. He has sent my brother, who's in prison. He still sends him money. But that's the only child he interacted with, and we see the outcome. So at the same time, the only grateful thing I am for is that you weren't in my life. Because I see that I'd probably be just as jacked up as my biological brother and probably be sitting in the cell next to him. How can I put this? We sometimes have to be grateful when certain people aren't in our lives. And to me, my father he owes big time. He not only owes me, he owes his other children, he owes women he dicked over, he owes. And for the person who made that comment, I guess, who thinks I should be grateful for using a car from a man who did not do, or excuse me, I'm using that term man loosely, a grown male who did nothing for me or his other children. No, I'm not ungrateful. It's something to me he should do, especially when you came to Arizona and I drove your ass everywhere. And on my gas, you kind of owe. It's just like when I was here, he gave me like, here's $50, when you go back over the road. The reason I put those tires on the car, I'm going to give you this $50 back. I'm not going to give it to you cash, though. I'm going to go ahead and get some things that I see that need to be done because you'll go and waste it. So that will be me paying you back. But also in reality, the way I saw it is I was concerned for the motoring public. If you want to kill yourself, that's fine. But driving a truck and seeing what was on that on that car, and I did a little video about the tires, I would rather go and spend some money on these tires. Those tires cost me $76. $35 for two back used tires, $6 to dispose of the other two tires, okay? So $76 altogether. But I see him, because he's ignorant, driving down the street, blowing a tire, and killing some woman or her child or some man, somebody's son, because he's such an asshole and so self-centered that he doesn't see the big picture, that driving on tires that are dry rotted is unsafe and dangerous. If you don't care about yourself, that's fine, but you should care about other people enough on the road to not drive something that dangerous. Currently, his brakes are bad. Now, I'm not doing his brakes. I'm doing everything else. I told him, I said, you're going to have to figure out your brakes. You're going to have to figure out the rest of it. I'm not doing that. I've paid you back. Here's your tires on the back. I got an oil change for you that pays you back. I got you some shelves for your house so you can try to get that crap out that room. That's it. I don't owe you anything else. I'm done. And that's very, I mean, granted, that's under $200. That what I did was 50. Yeah, it's around 200, 250. That's it. So no, you want to see me ungrateful? See what you want to see. Um, I've sat down and had a come to Jesus meeting with him about everything he's doing. And he's steady digging a hole. He's getting ready to go today and talk to his credit union about getting a loan, which doesn't make sense. He doesn't need a loan. He just needs to manage his money better. I told my sister, and I was like, she's like, do you know what's in his accounts? I said, no, I don't see his accounts. I know what he gets every month. But I do know he's going through all his money. I mean, he went through all the IRA. I said, and right now his dumb ass is getting ready to get a loan. And that was also him trying to play me and play her in a sense. When he called her talking about I'm broke, she said, well, what are you going to do about it? And he'll end the conversation because what he's trying to do is manipulate her for money too. And that to me is even more sick. It says something more about his personality. Like I said, I didn't grow up with him, so I didn't know who he was. Now that I know who he is, I don't like a lot of who he is. He's an asshole. We get along on a certain level, but that's because I just pretty much say what I want to say, and I don't give a damn what you think. Um, and right now, it kind of alleviates the other kids from dealing with him. But like you see, I'm staying in a hotel. This time, I could not stay in a pissy house. If I had the money, I would stay in a hotel. I won't stay in a pissy house with you. So, for people who think, oh, my biological parent who didn't do shit for me, they let me use their car, or I'm staying with them, so I need to be grateful. No, baby, no, no. I have a friend of mine. Her biological father, she has two sons. Her biological father came into her life late, kind of like mine. He didn't send his grandsons anything for their birthday. She's like, look, you done come down here, you done seen me, you done seen your grandsons, you send all your other grandkids. What's up with this? Why are you making a difference? She called him to the carpet on it. And then I guess one of his kids, he's been putting her down as the beneficiary of some stuff. And she said, and I guess one of her relatives said something, and she said, that's good, she can do that. She can go ahead and take care of that. Kind of like I am with my biological father. She said, because I could get 0 Fs about his stupid shit, and I don't really want to be caught up in it. Her father at one point was like, I don't know if he's a millionaire. He was up there. He had money, major money. She's comfortable. She's very good with money. So my homegirl's from Compton. She's very good with money. She's comfortable. She works for Wells. When I was working for Wells, she's one of the people that referred me into the one here, and she's working for Wells in Arizona. And so she's comfortable because she's had her ex-husband had his own salon, all this other stuff. So she's always been on point when it comes to dollars. And her mother and her stepfather was the one who actually drove bus out in Cali. I think it was BART, whatever the bus system is out in Cali, and they made lucrative money as bus drivers. You don't owe, even if they are your parents who are good parents. Parents, it's almost kind of should be a semi-unconditional love, that if you need something, they're there for you. Trucker Bill is a perfect example. His daughter's mother died, one of his ex-wives. One of his younger daughters needed help. She had his grandchild. And this man spent thousands of dollars. He went down, he got his daughter, he got his granddaughter from Indianapolis. He said, I will help you, you have to move out here where I'm at. He moved her out, and how old is that baby? That baby's in her, I think, early 30s, late 20s. I think early 30s, late 20s. His granddaughter is like 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little older. He helped to get her financially out there. He put her up originally she's like an extended stay hotel until they could find an apartment. He got her an apartment. He helped with getting her into her apartment. She's a stylist, so she's working for a salon out in Oregon. Him and his wife helped with getting the granddaughter back and forth to school. They got an apartment not too far from where they live, so they could, go by there and get her as needed. He has a stepson with the existing wife. He got him a car. He has his wife a car. They're not new cars, they're used cars, but Bill makes sure that they're mechanically sound before he ever drives them. He waited for his daughter to get her license out there. She got her license, and he, he helped with getting her a car. Now, this is a grown person, just like I'm grown. People hit hard times. But that's a father. You understand? Therefore, that's something you're going to be grateful for, because that's somebody who really is trying to help you, not the bull crap I got. And I'm going to help y'all with something else. So I had sold my car. I had to turn my car back in, okay, because I was doing chapter 7. So I sold one car, and then I had another one. I was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead. Let's see if we can end this, because I'm getting ready to do chapter 7. So my lawyer stepped in. I was pretty much driving trucks, so there was no need for me to have a physical car there, pay insurance, pay car notes. No need for me to do any of that. So then when I came back into corporate life, I didn't have a vehicle. So I'm riding, at that point, when I came here, I was local, so I was using his piece of hole-in-the-wall car. I was working for the Wells here. He came into his little money, he bought the car he has, and he had his old car. Now, initially, he's like, well, I might buy a second truck, and, I'm going to keep it in my name. That's control. And you can drive that. No, we're not going to do that. I tell you what, I'll go and drive this little piece of raggedy car you got here. You go ahead and get your car, and as long as this can get me back and forth to the job here at Wells. When I left, he didn't have any need for that car. That car was such a piece of shit that he didn't take care of. We couldn't even drive it back. We had to tow it back to Arizona. It got me around for, I'm going to say 6 to 8 months before it started having major problems. And he didn't tell me half the shit that was wrong with it, because had he told me, I would have known how to handle things better. But because it's a weird mentality. He just exists. And it's like, oh, well, it's just something, and I met black people like that. I don't understand it. It's weird to me. It's like, shit happens, oh, well, they don't care about it. And I have a lot of cousins, like, on his side that are like that. They get something, and it's almost like, I don't know, I don't understand. They don't take care of it. They don't take care of the car. Like I told them, I said, when I knew I wasn't going to continue with my one car, I ended up not owing nothing. They were able to resell my car. I had like a $10,000 left on the loan. They were able to resell that car and don't look hardly anything left at the end when they resold that car to get out of that loan. Because I took care of my stuff. I was like, bro, it's something, the most he'll take care of is the stuff he puts on his body to look pretty. His suits, it's the ghetto mentality we have, and I don't understand it. Somebody needs to help me with it. And it scares me about African-American people. I don't know, Latino people. I know we do it as black folks. We can ride up to a slumlord apartment complex in a BMW or a Mercedes. I don't understand it. I need to understand. Instead of getting something to live in that's ours and maybe having a used car that's, a Hyundai, but we have a decent place to live. Instead, we're going to have flashy cars. The nails are going to be done. The hair is going to be weaved. And we're living in a piece of crap. I don't understand. Or we're going into, I've had friends that I know, love them dearly, going into their house and there's absolutely no furniture. But when they step out that house, you think they stepped out of GQ magazine. And you look at you like, y'all ain't got no furniture to sit on. Have, like I said, a nice car, the fat rims on the car. You go in the house, and they got, plasticware for furniture. It's a mindset. So no, I'm not worried about being grateful to my father for anything. I don't have anything to be grateful for. I came through his family line because that's who God chose the family for me to come through. I went through a point where I questioned, why am I part of this family? Because it's so dysfunctional. Why did I come through this? Lord, why'd you let me be born to this jacked up mom, and why you let me be born to this jacked up male? But the blessings were my grandparents. But we don't know that the grandparents weren't who they, obviously for my father to be who he is, his parenting wasn't all that great. Who he is now that's a parenting issue. I can tell you right now, it's a parenting issue. He was only shown certain things about life. Both of my grandparents, his father and my grandmother, are very hardworking people. That he does do. If he's for money, he'll work his ass off. But teaching him to be a man, teaching him responsibility, and teaching him that the sun, the moon, and the stars don't rise and shine on his ass, that they didn't do. It was a detriment. I think he was my understanding is he was their only child, and in between, and his stepmother couldn't have any children, so I believe that that's why he's spoiled, and that and now and the whole manipulation thing that we have females that are so desperate for a male, they have, I hate to say, supported his sick, twisted mindset. And obviously my mother and my sister's mother, even though she doesn't realize, her mom seemed like a very sweet lady, in probably in a very young and naive time frame in their lives, they supported this idiot because they probably just weren't mature enough to know better, and they put up with him. I mean, Christina, God bless her, her mother let him lay on her for 3 kids, and I don't know how you do that over that much time, but and it could be loneliness, it could be attention, it could be a lot of things that transpired. He is a major manipulator. He is a liar. So, and that's something he admitted. He played women left and right. Every ring on his finger that he had in that one picture I put up came from different women. And he manipulated the money for them to get it. So he's a piece of work. And even how I'm watching him trying to manipulate money out of me and Christine, which is even more sick that you would try to do that. Trucker Bill's like, wait a minute. He said he's trying to play his own daughters? He said, damn. Look, your man said, damn. He said, I don't want my kids to do any shit like that. He said, it's craziness. I said, I tried to tell you. That's Trucker Bill, the one I did the interview with. I told him everything going on. And Bill was like, damn. So to the person who wants to say, I'm ungrateful, no, I'm not ungrateful. To me, he owes. He owes. Now, he'll never pay it back fully, but he owes. But if he tells me, hey, you can't drive my car, I'm not offended. There you go. Because what you reap, what you sow, you will reap. And he is reaping. He's reaping a whirlwind. So on to the new drama. This he tried to manipulate, and I called my sister and warned her because I had compared notes with her, and I guess he's been calling her with that I'm broke, and she's like, well, what you gonna do about it? I said, you need to keep that shit up right there. Don't send him nothing because he's living in his BS. When I got to the house this time, there were 2 things of a gallon, half gallons of the Tropicana orange juice. Over here at the United Grocery Store, I went to go do grocery shopping. He told me, well, that's the only orange juice I drink. Okay, with him and his Bill BS. That orange juice was costing about $7 to $8 for the half. I was like, oh, I'm not getting this. So I told him, I said, you'll have to go buy your own orange juice. I don't pay that kind of money for orange juice. Orange juice is orange juice. I'm not paying that kind of money for orange juice. If it's on sale, that's how I shop. I shop on sale. I'm not paying the money that you're talking about for no damn orange juice, okay? Then yesterday, after I bought the tires, and I told him the tires on, he's like, oh, are they better than what we had? No, what you had. Because I would never have let my tires get to that point. He then tells me, well, trying to connive money, I'm going to have to go to the credit union tomorrow. What time you got to check out the hotel? I'll check out at noon. Oh, I got to go to the credit union tomorrow. I'm going to have to take out a loan. Oh, okay. Well, let me get off this phone. I got some other stuff I got to do. You don't have to take out a loan. You just need to manage your money different. And he won't. So he's digging his hole deeper. Now you're going to have to pay back a loan. I don't know how much you're going to possibly loan him. They shouldn't loan him anything. You're going to take out a loan. How you going to pay that back when you're saying you don't have enough money monthly to pay your regular bills, but you're going to try to pay a loan back? So basically, I'm going to keep in my foolishness, and I'm going to dig my hole deeper. He had also told me at one point he don't like people telling him how to spend his money, and I said, that's because you're doing a fabulous job. I'm being facetious. Then he going to try to get some more money out of me just for gas. I said, no, I'm not giving you no gas money. I just put $76 in tires on that car, and I only used your car to go up less than 2 blocks from your house. I went 2 blocks this way, 2 blocks that way, and 2 blocks. The gas that's being used is you going all the way to credit union. His credit union is almost an hour from Lubbock. So it's in a whole nother city. So he has to drive there, and he's driving there frequently. So when he handed the car over to me, it only had a half a tank of gas in it. Well, we only got about a half a tank. No, you only have a half a tank. When I use the car, I'm just going up the street and back. I don't go far. I go to the street. Everything is within, normally where I go is within 2 to 3 blocks of his house. Because I go to the laundromat, I go to sometimes, well, there is a Walmart that's a little further. And I didn't go to Walmart until yesterday. But I went to the laundromat. I went to a restaurant that does sushi that's about 3 blocks from the house, 3 or 4 blocks. And then I went to the laundromat, which isn't even, that's not even a block from the house. And then I went to the hotel, which is literally 3 blocks down on the access road from his house. That's it. So no, that I'm not giving you no money. I said, I'm not giving you no gas money. And he told me, well, I'm gonna have to put the, and well, how he did it was, well, I'll come get you, and then, yeah, guess I'm gonna have to put the gas on my credit card. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, money, I know what to tell you, because I ain't got no more money. I put the tires on there, and I got other bills I gotta pay. I got no more money, so you have to work that out. I ain't use that much gas at all, because I don't go normally within 2 to 3 blocks of your house. So I don't know, you have to work it out. Well, yeah, I got to get cigarettes too. So you can afford cigarettes, you can afford gas. Any way he can so he can keep using his money. And he's still going out to breakfast every morning, $20 a breakfast. So at this point, I'm seeing things different. So for those of you who have parents who are jacked up, crazy, doing stupid stuff, it's not an ungrateful thing. There is a level of do the best you can in dealing with them and move on. Don't allow foolishness, especially if they weren't there in your life and they want to stay in their foolishness. You don't owe them anything. You could just not even deal with them at all. There's plenty of people who do that all the time. But try to be the bigger person as best you can. And for the person who wants to consider that ungrateful, either you might be a male like him, and maybe you don't take responsibility for your children, and you want to justify that behavior, that you can do these little ghetto things and think that somebody should go, oh, he let me use his car, so I should be grateful. But yet he ain't done shit else in your life. And you've done all this other stuff. Oh, well, no. And you also don't know the history, if you go back, that I had to step in on his behalf, and the only reason he's still breathing right now is because of me. So you can go back to a video and see that. I'm not going to go into that right now. My biological father's an asshole. That's just honesty, straight up, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's just the reality of who he is. Not only to his children, but to any women that he was with. This same person, so that you know who I'm dealing with, sat down and told me about how he beat up my brother's mother and thought it was funny, and told her after he whooped her ass, yeah, we talked about it after. I told her, I whooped your ass. Which that might be a lie, I'm be honest. Pam might have whooped his ass, because my brother's mother was studying to be a Dallas PD, okay? And when her and him were together. And I know that Pam took her hand when my brother was a little boy. He acted up, and she took her hand and hit him. And she didn't hit me, but I felt it. That's how hard it thudded in a way. I was like, ooh, with her bare hand. So it might not have been my father lied so much, he might have got his ass whooped by her. I don't know. But, it could be the opposite way. But for you to brag about beating up a woman, yeah, he's an asshole. he's a straight up asshole. So right now he's reaping a lot of what he's sown, which I've told him in his life. Karma, and somebody put karma as a B. And no, so to me, I'm going to use that car, and if he tells me I can't use it, then okay, here you go. Here's your stuff. I'm not offended. I'm going to use it up until I get my own stuff, and that's my next move. I'm getting ready to get me a little piece of car out here, because if I may not even stay here, but I have something where I can drive and say, because I don't plan on being here long term. I'm going to stack the dollars I can, handle what I need to handle, and then. So yeah, Bay and Bay, thank you for the person who told me about them. I have seen them over the road. I know that they were one of the best fleets to work for. I can't remember what year. I didn't know they had lease purchase. I got to see. The one thing is, I don't want to get into a lease purchase where it's a used truck. I want to be able to pick up my truck. I don't want to be shoved into something like an international, that other company I went to, and that's mainly what they were giving out, piece of shit internationals. I don't want that. I either want I really just want probably Freightliner. Freightliner would be my top truck. I do like the Volvo. a lot, but I'll be honest, there's things about the Freightliner. I'm just a Freightliner person. The Volvo I'm driving is a nice Volvo. Don't get it twisted. It is nice. The seats are uncomfortable though. I'm gonna have to get a purple, but it is a nice truck. Anyway, y'all, what time is it? I don't know what time it is. I gotta start getting everything ready. Um, Brown sugar, I will be mailing your package today. I'm packing it up. I got the envelope over there. I went and got the bubble wrap. I'm gonna reuse my Amazon. It's like the Amazon packaging. I'm reusing. I peeled all my labels off, so I'm reusing that. I'll write your address. I got the what do you call it? The markers. I'm gonna write your address on, and then I'll get to the post office. The post office is right by Grumpy's house. It's just right around the corner. So I'm gonna get that done. But I'm getting ready to pack the room up right now so I can be out of here at noon. I had breakfast this morning and be out of here at noon. So I'll be on the truck. They called me yesterday. I don't know because I guess I'm supposed to go pick out my health insurance. Hi, Wachapa. I'm supposed to be picking out my health insurance today. So they called me yesterday. I got all my scripts filled that I could, and then once the health insurance, I have to get to the doctor. I have enough meds now to get me through probably for until the insurance kicks in. And then I have one medicine, which is the medicine I told you because of my hereditary issue. That's the lifelong medicine that I'm on. Regardless whether I'm fat, whether I'm skinny, it doesn't matter. I'm on it for the rest of my life. That medicine is going to have to be refilled, but I have to have blood work done before it refilled, and I'm going to probably have to see I could Grumpy's doctor out here, but me and him get along great because his doctor, when I was here before, he likes me so much that if I need anything, he recommends me to the doctors he goes to. And my Arizona doctor is the same way. If I need anything, have really good reports with my doctors. And when I need anything, my doctor, she recommended me to doctors she wouldn't saw. Like when my hair started coming out, she recommended me to her dermatologist. Um, so yeah, that's just kind of the rapport I end up being building with people. But anyway, y'all be blessed. I got to get off of here, get all this crap done, and I want to have the the apartment, the room, the hotel room ready to go, so I can just walk downstairs, check out, and meet Grumpy at the front. But yeah, he's doing a loan today. Crazy as hell. I was like, oh okay, because at this point I don't have anything more to say. I done, I've had my come to Jesus meeting. My sister was like, she said, is he for real? I'm like, yeah, he's for real. He crazy as hell. But anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. I'll be on here probably maybe later tonight. And I still got to do my subject on the phone. I haven't done it yet. I'm going to do it hopefully today. I'm going to head back to the truck. We'll have to see. Um, we'll have to see how all of that works. But yeah, I'm heading to the truck here. I'll be heading to the truck. Yeah, hopefully here in the next hour or so. I gotta wash one last load of clothes and then I'll head over to the truck, get it cleaned up and ready to go, and see what these people are doing. He hasn't given me a load yet.